tonight. President Buhari unveils digital innovation. FG declares Friday and Monday as public holidays. And on the foreign scene, United Nations meets Taliban officials over women staff ban. Thanks for joining us this wonderful evening and welcome to Major Reports. My name is David Ojo. President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the National Council for Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship to implement the provision of the Nigerian Startup Act signed into law in December 2022. The inauguration was held shortly before this week's Federal Executive Council meeting at the Council Chamber of the State House in Abuja. Speaking at the inauguration of the 14-member council each year, the President directed the Secretariat, the National Information Technology Development Agency, to ensure faithful implementation of the Act, which provides incentives and support for startups, including start breaks and access to funding. He noted that Nigeria has been at the forefront of the growth of startups in Africa, with Nigerian startups rising over $4 billion between 2019 and 2022. The President further said the growth was fueled by a surge in demand for digital services as people worldwide turn to technology to stay connected, work remotely, and access essential goods and services, largely due to COVID-19 pandemic. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved a sum of 320 billion naira as a 2023 intervention fund for public tertiary education institution in the country. The Executive Secretary of Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Sonny Ikono, disclosed these in Abuja during the annual strategic planning workshop with all heads of beneficiary institution. The Colonel said the meeting is an avenue to receive feedback and evaluate the performance of each intervention lines to enhance a more robust delivery of the agency's mandate. According to the Telephone Board, the 2023 intervention cycle will see each university receiving over 1 billion naira, while each public polytechnic is also expected to receive over 600 million naira, while the sum of over 800 million naira will be received by each of the colleges of education. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke said his administration is poised towards providing conducive environment for learning as a way of ensuring adequate quality education system in the state. The governor stated these at the commissioning of the rehabilitated blocks of classrooms and constructed fence and gatehouse, among other projects, at Community Primary School, Dagbolu. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga reports.
Address at the formal commissioning of rehabilitated 2 blocks of 8 classrooms, constructed fence and gatehouse, toilets, playing arena and reticulated borehole at Community Primary School, Dagbolu, which was facilitated by Osun Community and Social Development Agency, Osun CSDA, in collaboration with the Osun State Government and World Bank. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke said this is the manifestation of his administration's commitment towards providing adequate learning environment for school pupils as a way of ensuring inclusive education in the state. The governor, who spoke through his deputy, Prince Kola Adewusi, stated further that the project embarked upon by Osun CSDA in collaboration with the Osun State Government is a manifestation of his campaign promises in revitalizing the state education sector in order to reverse poor performance of students in public institutions. He enjoined the community, the school authority, and the pupils of Community Primary School Dagbolu to make judicious use of the facilities given to them in such a way that the project will be useful for generations to come.
Research has shown that an enabling learning environment increases students' attention and focus. It equally promotes meaningful learning experiences. It encourages higher levels of student performance and motivates students to practice higher level of critical thinking skills. In other words, positive classroom environment will always motivate students to learn, remove negative emotions such as stress and other things that create teaching and learning.
Earlier in a welcome address, The General Manager of Osun CSDA, Mrs. Aderonke Abokede, appreciated the state government's support and commitment towards improving the school facilities of Community Primary School, Dagbolu. Mrs. Abokede stated further that children are the future of any community, adding that investing in their education is an investment for the future of education, which remains the key to eliminating inequality and reduction of poverty.
This commissioning is only possible because of the funding provided by the Executive Governor of the state, Senator Ademola Jackson Adeleke. I want to tell you that the funding that was made available, now we have 98 micro projects have been funded across the states, out of which 5 micro projects are in this school to be commissioned.
In their good messages, the Ajaguna of Oshogbo, Chief Okparanti, Baba Kekere of Oshogbo, Chief Sulaiman Olanipekun, Bale Dagbolu, Chief Sulaiman Oyebode, Superintendent of Corps NSCDC, Keye Akintunde, Coordinating Director, Ministry of Rural Development and Community Affairs, Dr. Shegun Ogunrinlade, and the representative of the Director of Head of Local Government Areas, Olorunda North LCDA, Mrs. Moron Folu Oyewale, among others, appreciated the Osun State Government and the Osun CSDA for their unrelenting effort in ensuring adequate and development meets every nook and cranny of the state.
We appreciate the contribution of government to the progress of Oshogbo in particular, and to the progress of Oshogbo in general. We are very happy.
The event, which saw the commissioning of rehabilitated 2 blocks of 8 classrooms, constructed fence and gate house, toilet, playing arena, and reticulated bowl, among others, featured Osun Cultural Troupe and Community Primary School Dagbolu Pupils Cultural Presentation, among others. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odu Nuga, Osbc News.
Governor Ademola Adeleke has commended the leadership of League of Imams in Afar and the state for their continued moral and spiritual support. The governor gave the commendation while hosting the league led by the Grand Imam of Osun State, Sheikh Musa Anima Shao, to Iftar, which is breaking off Ramadan fast at his country home, Ede. Governor's office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekulekun completes the story.
Addressing the gathering of the League of Imams and Alfas, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke said he was encouraged by the consistent prayers of the Imams, saying that he learned the virtues of keeping his promises from his late parents. He attributed the choice of Imole as his campaign slogan to divine guidance and assured the Islamic clerics that he would not rest until he fulfills all his promises to the people. The governor described what people saw in his 100 days in office as just tip of the iceberg and appealed for their continued support and prayers.
Ọlọ́run nígbà fún wọn torí ẹni pé gbogbo ta sọ pé a máa ṣe a ṣe ní ọdẹ days àkọfihàn wọn ni o pé n ta sọ pé a máa ṣe kò láti ṣe yẹn ní ìsìn ìta tí pọ̀ bí ọ̀rọ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ṣe ta ní ìṣẹ̀ láti pọ̀ wáyé àtúntì kan gbó the second phase of the project ìlú ta fẹ́ ṣe láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà.
The Grand Imam of Osun State, Sheikh Musa Anima Shao, while praying for the state and Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke, beseeched Allah to grant him a successful tenure. Sheikh Anima Shao lauded the governor for the many life-imparting programs which he delivered within 100 days and used the occasion to pray for the repose of the soul of late Senator Isiaka Adetunji Adeleke, who, as the first executive governor of Osun State, laid solid foundation for good names and the entire Adeleke dynasty. In his sermon, the Grand Mufti of Oshogbo land, Sheikh Yusuf Abajaro, described God as the Almighty who enthrone and dethrone whoever he wishes. Quoting Prophet Muhammad, the Mufassir said Islam means an admonition and advice peace, total submission to the will of Allah. He charged the governor to complete the pillars of Islam by going on Hajj pilgrimage and lauded him for the welfare of workers, road intervention, free surgical outreach, among several others. The Wazirul Mumin of Yoruba land, including Edo and Delta State, Sheikh Abdulateef Adeklekun, in a goodwill message, lauded the governor, whose antecedents reveals the kind of people he should be, saying that people should not be surprised that he is delivering on his promises. Prayers were offered for Governor Ademola Adeleke, the Adeleke dynasty, Osun State, and Nigeria at large. It has been Abdurrahim Adeklekun reporting.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has approved free train ride for Osun State indigenes in Lagos State and other southwest states willing to celebrate Easter festival with their families. A release signed by a spokesperson to the governor, Malam Olawale Rashid, said the Mole train free train service will depart the Ido terminus in Lagos tomorrow morning, with stopovers in designated train stations in Ogun and Oyo State to pick passengers, and is expected to arrive at the Nelson Mandela Park train station at Osogbo in the evening. The return trip from Osogbo to Lagos will be on Monday morning next week, adding that the Mole free train service is designed to provide relief to citizens of the state traveling home to celebrate with their loved ones, as the administration of Governor Adeleke will not relent in offering free train service for indigenes during festive period. The release therefore enjoins citizens to avail themselves of the opportunity to visit the state and celebrate with their family and loved ones. Meanwhile, the federal government has approved Friday 7 and Monday 10 April 2023 as public holidays to mark this year's Easter celebration. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, made the declaration in Abuja. Aregbesola, in a statement signed by the Ministry Permanent Secretary, Shaw Bulgari, urged Christians to emulate the virtues of sacrifice, togetherness, forgiveness, kindness, love, peace, and patience, which were attributes of practice of Jesus Christ, as exemplified by his ministry on earth. The minister also called on Christians and all Nigerians to use the occasion of this year's Easter celebration to pray for an end to the security challenges in parts of the country, pointing that security is everybody's business, while wishing Christians at home and in diaspora a happy and peaceful Easter celebration. He also enjoined them to love their neighbors through acts of kindness and generosity. Federal Commissioner representing Osun State for National Population Commission, Senator Mudassir Hussain, has described the commission as an engine room of the nation's data collection, processing, and analysis. Senator Hussain made the remark shortly after featuring on an OSBC News and Current Affairs program, The Nation Today, which focused on Census 2023 preparation, prospect, and challenges. The senator said without proper statistics, national planning will be grossly ineffective and affected. He speaks further.
The prospect of this exercise is we need to have an accurate and reliable census for the federal government to be able to plan well for Nigerian citizens. You see, they rely on this type of commission where all aspects of life are derived from. The commission is the engine of the nation. But without the proper, accurate census, I don't think we can plan well. That is why Mr. President Muhammad Buhari has decided to give us leverage to go and conduct the census, to have a reliable and adjustable sensors. We need your cooperation. Whenever you see our enumerators with the uniform of NPC, please attend to them and allow them to have questions.
Nigerian Labour Congress has warned those pushing for full subsidy removal to forego the idea and save the country from another round of social unrest. The NSC gave the warning following an announcement by President Muhammadu Buhari administration that he had left the matter for the incoming regime. NSC General Secretary Emmanuel Ogbuaja said nobody should drag the masses and Nigerian workers into any increase in fuel price in the name of subsidy removal, stating that organized labor would kick against it. According to him, it will be uncharitable in 2023 for any government to be talking about subsidy or no subsidy for a product that is naturally and thoroughly well endowed in Nigeria. He said it's marks of wickedness for the nation to be discussing subsidy instead of production, lamenting that the energy and resources people are putting into discussing subsidy showed a lack of seriousness and appreciation of what governance should be. The former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Mohammed Sanusi, has said Nigeria has never been this divided since the Civil War of 1967 to 1970. He said the country, because of the election, is now dangerously divided along ethnic and religious lines, adding that it had put the integrity of public institutions in question. Sanusi made the remark at the third Nigerian Leadership Colloquium in Lagos, tagged a new Nigerian leadership imperative for radical growth and transformation. He noted that the country now has a challenge of nation building, noting that the economy is now in doldrum. In the same vein, the Ooni of Ife Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II has called for the need to make Nigeria's institution independent enough to protect democracy and the economy. Oba Ogunwusi also called for transparency of the electoral system for people to identify with ideas of candidates, explaining that any candidate vying for office should be ready to face the people and discuss issues. He added that people must be ready to call leadership to order and prepare to take their destiny in their hands. The issue of restructuring has become a sing-song virtually on the lips of almost everyone in Nigeria. Others, however, remain contentious among our areas that need to be restructured. In this special report of the week, Alichi Amuda examined the controversies surrounding it and the way forward.
It has remained a recurring issue in Nigeria that always attracts public attention wherever it is mentioned.
First thing is restructure Nigeria, unbundle Nigeria. Unbundle how? Unbundle by giving us good fiscal federalism, real federalism, not this kind of unitary system that we are practicing. We want proper federalism, even if it is asymmetric federalism, whatever form that recognizes the unity in diversity of Nigerians.
The clamor has been on for ages, and people are bringing in different perspectives on how and what they viewed it to be. To some, restructuring means a constitution review strategy aimed at bringing government closer to the people, most especially those at the grassroots. To some others, it means the devolution of powers between the federal, state and local governments so that less power is concentrated with the federal government for the overall growth of the country and her inhabitants. Recently, President Muhammadu Buhari signed into law the constitutional amendment allowing states in the country to generate, transmit and distribute electricity in areas covered by the national grid. The bill was among the 16 bills assented to by the President, which altered some provisions of the 1999 Constitution 5th Alteration Bills 2023. With the 5th Alteration Bill number 33, devolution of powers, Nigerians 36 states can now join the electricity generation business. Another bill also granted rights to the state government to establish their own railway service. With this, the railway moves from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent list. Similarly, The constitutional alteration bills equally gave financial independence to state houses of assembly and state judiciary. While some describe the amended laws as a sure path towards the restructuring of the country through devolution of powers, others are of the view that it is not the kind of restructuring Nigerians are clamoring for. A legal practitioner, Mr. Femi Anyodokun, stated that restructuring should be all-encompassing and not restricted to electricity and railway services alone, which will end up laying untold hardship on states who might not be able to afford such. According to Mr. Anyodokun, there is so much power concentrated at the federal level, which must be looked into for the country to progress.
The state, for instance, now has powers to do railways within its corridors, rail corridors within the state. There is no way they can successfully do that without interfacing with the Nigerian Railway Corporation, that is a federal, agency. There is no way they can do that without having to access funds from outside the country, and there is no way they can effectively borrow without the input of the Federal Ministry of Finance and the President. These things will dovetail back to Abuja, okay? We have to look at the picture wholesale. That's why I said we must go to the Constitution and see if we are looking at a confederacy, because we say we are doing federal arrangement, federal system of government. It is, everybody knows it's a fluke, it's a fraud. That's not what we run, okay? If we say we now want a confederacy when we will have a weaker center and stronger component unit, you will discover that the issue of accessing loans from outside the country, issues of finance, issues of the military, issues of education will be handled and looked at differently.
Speaking in the same vein, a human rights activist, Comrade Waheed Lawal, stated that what Nigeria needs mostly is fiscal federalism, where states would be able to control the natural resources in their domain and only make some remittances to the federal government.
They should shed some load to the federating units so that, you see, for example, we are having a single police structure where we have one Inspector General of Police to cover the 36 states of the federation. There is a governor in a state who is the chief executive officer of the state, but the governor cannot control the commissioner of police in that state. So if we restructure our life to the effect that we can have state police or regional police, so that those things can tackle the security challenges that we are having. We are having one energy something where everything is so structured in a way that it is only the federal government that has exclusive right on certain things in our life. That should be adjusted.
The respondents spoke on the need for subsequent administrations in Nigeria to heed to the yearnings and aspirations of the people and provide workable templates that will ensure good governance and promote development in all areas of lives of the people. This, they noted, will give all citizens of the country a sense of belonging in the project Nigeria. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
You're welcome to a sports segment. Of our tour sport decks. Nigerian senior women's national team Super Falcons ahead of the two friendly matches in Turkey city of Antalya. Serial award winner Oshoala has not played for the 9-time African champion since the Women African Cup of Nations finals in Morocco 9 months ago, while Ben Storming forward of Paranose is linking up with the squad for the first time since the Aisha Buhari Cup tournament in Lagos in September 2021. The arrival of the two respective marks women generated positive vibes at the Sands of Deluxe Hotel camp of the Falcon ahead of Friday's clash with World Cup debutants. Also in camp now are goalkeepers Chiamaka Nnadozie, Nyene Hetim and Yewande Balogun, defenders Omonebi Glory Ogbonna, Tosin Demihi, Rufayat Imuran and Ashley Pontre, midfielder Tony Payne, and Christy Uchebe, just but to mention a few. In another and now to foreign story. The United Nations mission in Afghanistan will hold talks with Taliban officials in Kabul to seek clarity on a new government ban that blocks women from working for the world body across the country. The UN said the Taliban government had extended a ban on women working for non-governmental organizations to the world body. And to end the major reports tonight, here again are the highlights. President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the National Council for Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship to implement the provision of the Startup Act. We also brought you a report that federal government has declared Friday and Monday 10 April 2023 as public holiday to mark this year's Easter celebration. And on the foreign scene, we brought you a report that United Nations mission in Afghanistan is to meet Taliban officials over women's staff ban. And that ends major reports on OSBC TV this evening. It was edited by Michael Adeni. My name is David Ojo. Thanks for watching and good night.
Hey, Star Times don't bring you another nyafu reward this Easter and Ramadan season.